Welcome to another edition of Wrestling Reality Rundown. It is I, Red Standard, being joined tonight with Mr. SKS Effect. Say hello to the people, SKS Effect.
What's up, everybody? It's good to be back. I've missed doing this. But we're here to talk and bring some joy, hopefully to some lives and some laughs, because laughs are important this time of year.
Exactly. It's been a little chilly this time of the week, but you know it's been been a hot week in the world of wrestling this week.
Just the holiday season. The holiday season.
There we go. We're getting festive right here on WRR.
As we should. So, let's get down to... Let's just start with a little what could be Christmas gift. Belated, most likely. Is a rumor going around now that this guy... his name's like Adam
Copeland.
Copeland. That's it. I guess he used to be some guy named Edge.
A former, I believe, 10-time world champion, former multi-time tag champions that can't even be counted, Intercontinental champion.
Everything champion.
Former everything champion, former Royal Rumble King of the Ring as well.
Yeah. I mean, the man had a t-shirt that said, "Done it all, won it all."
And it's true.
He might be coming back for one more match. Which then has everyone going, oh, who would you want to see Edge go against? Who would you want to see Edge go against? I'd rather hear from Edge on who he'd rather go against, and honestly, who he would feel the safest going against. Because at this point, you know, it all comes down to the safety of who does he feel like he can work against. And, you know, they're going to help take care of him while still putting on a stellar match. One would think a top candidate could be Daniel Bryan.
Mm-hmm. Another one could probably say even someone like AJ Styles as well.
Mm-hmm. Ooh, the phenomenal one versus the ultimate opportunist. Ooh. Christmas chills of that match.
I don't know though, because for me personally, it's like I feel like I'm comfortable with Edge not having another match, because I feel like I don't want him, like you're talking about the safety, I feel like he's most safest not having to like have that in the back of his mind that like, right. You know, whatever treatment he's been going through, like I would just rather him just be happy and content that like he's accomplished everything that he's wanted to do, and he's, you know, I feel like all this time he's been content not having to wrestle. And I feel like, you know, the reason for that's, of course, like, you know, his safety. And just the fact that, like, back then, it was like the worry was one bad bump can lead to paralyzation. And I wouldn't want him to, like, go through that again. We don't know what he's feeling, because, of course, he's denying everything. He's saying that, you know, none of that is true. And obviously, it's like, you know, he wanted to be surprised if he was wanting to come back. But I don't know how much he would want to, because I feel like it would be WWE saying, hey, you're feeling great, like, would you want to do a match at WrestleMania? Or we'll pay you all this money to do a match in Saudi Arabia. So I feel like, you know, much like Shawn Michaels, he's just been, you know, away so long that I've kind of just gotten used to the fact that, like, you know, he has nothing to accomplish anymore, like, you know, I just feel like he should just, you know, stay home with his wife and his kids and just, you know, rest comfortably, and not have that worry in the back of his head that, like, you know, just a bad bump can lead to something bad, even if he's feeling good. Because we've seen with Goldberg, like, you know, he might feel great, but then something happens and then he shit the bed.
Goldberg concusses himself. So... yeah, you know, I'm there with you on it. As great as it would be, I mean, he has nothing left to prove. Unless somehow he feels in himself he has to, you know, unless he feels like he needs to do one more match. There's no reason for him to.
Mm-hmm.
And honestly, he went out on a high note. Not many people get to do that. So we'll see what happens for Edge in the future.
I just hope that Edge sees that match before he like decides on whether he wants to come back. He sees the match that Shawn had, and then like, granted, granted Shawn was facing Kane and Undertaker, who they themselves aren't like, the best workers at their age, but just seeing that like Shawn, kind of like nearly broke himself in that match. I kind of hope Edge kind of sees that and kind of sees that as,
And if you're curious about this match he's talking about, please see, what was it? Was that Crown Jewel?
Yes, it was.
Please see like WWE Crown Jewel, the last one, I think.
2018.
It was DX versus Brothers of Destruction, and it's kind of considered one of the shittiest matches any of those four men have put on. Ugh. And that's saying something when you consider what great talents those four are, that put them together in this day and age, at their advanced state in life. The match sucked. So let's live it on the edge and move on to something making a little bit of an impact right now. And that is the continuing story of Sami Callihan versus Tessa Blanchard, which is now officially official for Hard to Kill. My God, that is the best, punniest name of a pay-per-view Impact to come up with. Kudos to the marketing team on that one. Tessa Blanchard versus Sami Callihan for the Impact World title. And they're getting brutal. They're picking their opponents. They ended Impact this week by brawling in the street, which I said to you a second ago. Imagine driving down, because they didn't have anything blocked off. You saw normal traffic going up and down the street. You're driving down, and all of a sudden you look out their window, and you're just seeing this man and woman going at it. Just randomly in the streets.
In their gear, no less.
They weren't really in gear. I mean, well, Sami Callihan's normal outfit's kind of his gear. Tessa was in normal clothes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, nope. They were just going right at it.
But then again, they're in New York City, so like that thing's practically like normal over there. That's practically normal.
They probably just drove by and goes, oh, not again. But I've said it, if this was all done on purpose, especially when you consider Hard to Kill is in the same venue as Slammiversary was, this has been the best case of long-term storytelling Impact has ever done. And that's me going on a limb. The best they've ever done, if this is them on purpose doing it, I applaud, because it's been well built. I've been there, and there's been videos where I said, fuck, why did she lose here at Slammiversary? Well, fuck it, if she lost at Slammiversary, she should have been number one contender. How the fuck is she not added in the Bound for Glory main event? The fuck she didn't win the X Division title? And yes, I'm saying fuck so much just to make Caesar have to push the fuck button when I fuck. Yes, because censorship. But
I agree with you there. Yeah, I think it's been a great build for this main event match, and I feel like all of it because of I think Tessa's been doing a great job in this role. She's definitely taken the ball and ran with it, especially coming off of Brian Cage's injury, which kind of damaged most of his year. He was set to have, a top year in Impact, but his injury kind of derailed that, and he missed shows. He hasn't been wrestling as much.
I hate to say, and I have all the respect in the world for Brian Cage, but isn't he injured 50% of his career anyway?
Yeah, he's been pretty much injured most of his career, but I feel
slow down a little bit, man. Slow down. Longevity.
Mm-hmm. But, in his absence, Tessa has been great in her role. And I think, like you said, if this was a long-term build, which honestly, I can't even say that because it's I feel like they gave Tessa the ball and then she just ran with it. And I don't know how much they wanted her to take that ball and run with, because I feel like she's really cemented herself as not just a great talent in the women's division, but in all of Impact. And not just all of Impact, but, she's slowly making her way as one of the best talents in all of wrestling.
Well, you know what? In some way, it's kind of like the whole Kofi Kingston case. Kofi Kingston got the ball. Kofi ran with it. We all sat there and thought, there's no way this is going to continue. It did. We all thought, is he really going to win? He did. And then it became so how long is he going to hold it? Well, shit, he's probably going to lose it this month. He's probably going to lose. No, he held it. He kept the ball rolling. I still say Kofi Kingston was probably the most interesting WWE champion in a couple years, and that is including all the match quality that he put on and the storytelling of the characters, which includes the KO heel turn, the Ziggler return, and the Randy Orton Kofi Kingston storyline finishing up 10 years in the making. That's my opinion. Everyone else is entitled to it, but fuck you if you don't think he did. Because, damn it, Kofi put on some damn good work.
We got a fired up SKF effect tonight.
It's the holiday season. The holiday season. So whoop that ass. Whoop that ass.
But going back to the Tessa, I think I really hope that she wins the title at Hard to Kill. I think I feel like we say this a lot, that there's no other option than to her winning this, but I really do think this is the big one because this is the world title match. This is where everything has led to.
I'm going to say this, but we're going to talk more about it later. The whole Rhea Ripley versus Shayna Baszler match from the other night for the title. How it was said, if she lost to Shayna, they would have killed all that momentum she earned, especially during Survivor Series weekend. If Tessa loses to Sammy for the third time in a world title match, in a main event world title match, they killed her. There is no recovery from there. Because then even if she goes back to the women's division, it's just, because you weren't good enough to be the champ. I don't want to say the man because that's someone else, but she wasn't good enough to be the champ. So, Impact. Don't fuck this up. So, speaking of don't fuck this up, Liv Morgan in the bathtub. Okay. She's got to kill her old self to make the new self? WWE, all we wanted was for her to be, with Bray Wyatt. Let her be a female fiend. And she could have been the Harley to his Joker. Who was the lady that had lamb chop? Whoever the lady was that had lamb chop, Liv Morgan could have been that to Bray Wyatt's Mr. Rogers. It would have been perfect. So, I don't know what they're doing, but do not put Liv Morgan through another goddamn Emelina storyline. That's all I'm saying. That's it. That's all. I'm moving on. Because we're going to go to Bray Wyatt. Because goddamn it, I loved his entrance from TLC. That was one of the best things about the whole pay-per-view. It's just him walking out all smiles and cheerful and with his blue Universal Championship. And then he's so in psycho. He would sit there, he'd look pathetic. He'd be like, Miz, take it easy. But then he'd snap. But the Fiend wasn't there. It was just Bray Wyatt. Which that shit was crazy. And I like it. I would have liked to see more between Bray and Miz. I feel like the match got cut short. And I feel like the ending just felt very anticlimactic. But they also had to build up the return of Daniel Bryan because he was gone for a whole 2 weeks. So we were all supposed to be really worried and concerned about him. And all he did was find a razor.
Well, he didn't find the razor. It was Bray Wyatt or the Fiend that ripped his hair off, if you remember.
Yeah, but he had to find his razor to make everything evened out.
Touche.
And to clear up the face. But I don't know. That was, Daniel Bryan returned, Bray disappeared, and then Daniel Bryan walked off. One, I'm sorry. Daniel Bryan, you're an asshole. You are an asshole Because the whole reason Miz got stuck in that match with Bray Wyatt is because storyline-wise, he was looking for you. He was concerned for you. He was then concerned for his family. He then got into this match. You returned, took the glory, and just left Miz out on ringside. He should have gone out. He should have got to Miz, and they should have had some type of handshake moment or something like that, just to kind of be like, hey, I'm back, thanks for holding down my story. When I saw Daniel Bryan walk off and you just kind of saw Miz still sitting ringside, I was like, damn, Bryan's an asshole. He could have gone up to Miz, checked on him.
I think it was interesting that Miz is kind of put into this match. I don't know what's going to happen at the Rumble, if it's just going to be Bryan and Fiend in a one-on-one, or if they decide to put Miz in there as well in a triple threat. But I don't know, with the match itself, I think it was as short as it needed to be. I don't think we needed to see a longer Bray Wyatt match, especially if it's not the Fiend. So, and knowing thankfully this wasn't a title match. So it wasn't you could buy that the Miz was going to beat Bray Wyatt himself. And I think it's just interesting because I feel like with this Bray Wyatt, this is the first time I think we've seen him in a live setting. So
Bray Wyatt, yes, first time.
Just seeing him as Miz is trying to rip his arms off and just feeling that pain. I feel like we're kind of getting that Joseph Park kind of vibe. Remember when Joseph would bleed, the abyss in him would come out? I feel like that's what they're kind of going with for Bray here in the Fiend. So I think that's a pretty interesting character development right there. So,
yep. So Patrick, please see Joseph Park / Abyss. Also see Festus. Ding ding. Ding ding. I'm on a roll tonight.
You really are.
So we'll see where they go. But to quote, Chester Bennington, in the end, it doesn't even matter. Because rumor mill, WrestleMania is going to be The Fiend versus Roman Reigns. Because only the big dog can take down the Fiend. Because it's going to be such good shit, Caesar. Such good shit. Kind of like the shit coming from that dog food that they've been using. Speaking of shit, our next storyline. Lashley, Lana, and Rusev. What the fuck, WWE?
I honestly have no interest in this feud. I don't really have any words to say other than
Nobody has any interest in this whatsoever, except maybe Vince and possibly Paul Heyman.
And Rusev.
No, does Rusev really? Does he have any interest in this?
Doesn't Rusev have a lot of involvement in this story? Didn't he say he had a lot of input?
I mean, other than the fact he's getting TV time and he's rocking it, wearing all these random shirts like Donald Duck to his divorce paper signing, it's bleh. And now
get ready. Get ready, Steven. December 30th. I know you got your invitation. You've RSVP'd for the wedding.
I was saying my DVR's set because nothing's more fun than a wrestling wedding. And I say that. I attended the best wrestling wedding of all, Eric Young and ODB.
Mm-hmm. In a cage.
In a cage, no less. I was also in attendance for the wedding of Laurel Van Ness and Braxton Sutter. That ended nicely. Hey, I know Chelsea's with Zach, but Laurel.
Oh my, Mr. Steal Your Girl here. He's on a roll. He's like
split personalities in there, right? Speaking of, there's nothing going there with, maybe a little split personalities. TLC match. Not only was the really only good thing for that pay-per-view, The Fiend and Daniel Bryan and The Miz, the main event, Becky, Charlotte, and the Kabuki Warriors put on a hell of a tables, ladders, and chairs match. They deserve every ovation they got for what they did in that match. But I want to point out, ringleader Becky, after she saw how badly hurt Kairi was, actually rolled her under the ring for her own safety.
Mm-hmm.
But other than that, I really want to know who came up with the idea, or who was someone told and thought it was a great idea when the Kabuki Warriors sat there and started tying down Becky Lynch. Because as that was happening, you're just seeing the memes being made in your head.
I don't know what memes you're talking about.
Yeah, I bet you don't, Caesar.
I don't know what you're talking about.
You didn't see any memes at all.
I'm being legit. I legit don't even know what you're talking about.
Uh-huh.
But just the best by your son, I'm kind of guessing what it is. But I feel like that was an interesting match just because like it's the main event of a pay-per-view and it's a big match, a TLC match. And I know it's just a weird thing when people just like, you know, it's like getting through with the match that Kyrie tried to, but it's one thing, like it's just a match. I feel like I forget, was this like early in the match where she kind of like where she kind of got this thing?
I think something happened early on. No, maybe not too early on, maybe midway through.
Because I feel like at that point it's like you either just have Asuka, like, because going into this pay-per-view it's been the Kabuki Warriors versus Charlotte and Becky in these handicap matches, and I feel this kind of told a neat little story where the tables have now turned on Asuka, where it ends Becky and Charlotte against Asuka, and Asuka has to kind of like, you know, overcome that. But I just feel like with Kyrie, it's like I feel like either you tell that story with Asuka or you just go straight to the finish. And I don't think anyone really would have been that disappointed. I thought they tried their best in that match, but I don't know. I just felt like the concussion kind of left, like, you know, left people more worried about Kyrie than like actually enjoying the match.
Right. Well, that happens when you see someone get hurt, but they still did a hell of a show. Not going to land that one. And let's talk progress, because as you said, that was the main event. And this image has been circling around online. 2010, the Royal Rumble. There was a match between Mickie James and Michelle McCool that lasted 20 seconds. Welcome to the Divas era. 2019 TLC, almost a half-hour match, and it was the main event.
I feel like that match was probably...
There's positive change right there.
You know, it's funny because, like, I'm seeing 20 seconds here for the 2010 match. I feel like this 2019 match was probably more than all the women's pay-per-view matches combined from 2010.
Probably.
So, there's a good chance. So that's, you know, as you said, progress.
The beginning of this decade was a shit-awful time for women's matches. Move on. That was all our WWE talk.
Evolution 2, where are you? That's what Steven's thinking in his head right now. I wanted to get that out.
It's supposedly, you know, they're supposedly working on it. It's not that hard. Stephanie, call me. I'll help build it. The SKF Effect, in association with Wrestling Reality Rundown, present Evolution. And it'd be awesome. So, let's shift gears some. And let's get to NXT. Because NXT, which this episode did in fact kind of slaughter AEW in the ratings, but hey, ratings don't matter, quote unquote. The show kicked off with Finn Balor versus Adam Cole. Baby! The two put on a hell of a match. You saw moments where they tried to like tease that one was going to lose, but it didn't quite happen. And then I have to say, this kind of threw off the whole thing. Finn's going for the finisher and then just stops and stares at the ramp. There was no music to draw his attention over there. No, nothing to catch his eye. But standing up at the ramp was Johnny Gargano finally returning. And I thought, cool, it's Johnny. Finn, for some reason, like, let's go of Adam enough for Adam to hit him in the balls and then do the running knee strike, 1, 2, 3. Finn, why'd you stop attacking? It was just Johnny Gargano. And there was no music or anything. If Johnny's music hit, I could see why you might be like, wait, where the hell is he? It's stuff like that kind of throws off the whole groove of the match. And that was an amazing match to kind of have just that of a meh ending.
He's just used to that WWE distraction finish.
Yeah, right.
Like a guy comes out, like your concentration is now shifted. You can't concentrate on the match because there's a guy that's standing there. Ugh.
You can't help but watch.
But I thought the match was awesome. I was definitely like looking forward to this match. I think like for me, I was definitely more tuned into NXT because I thought they had a much bigger promotion for their episode this week with this match and the main event later on. But with this match, I thought this match was awesome. I did not like the finish at all. I thought it was, like you said, it was just a lame WWE finish where a guy comes out and they get distracted. And for some reason, that shifts their attention. Which kind of sucks because like this is like the first time I think Adam Cole and Finn Balor had a match, at least in WWE. I don't know if they had one before that. But, you know, I felt like this was a big match, especially because I think when Finn came back to NXT in that first episode on October the 2nd, this is kind of what it's been built towards.
Yeah.
So I feel like, you know, it should have gotten a little bit of a bit better ending. You could have done the whole Johnny Gargano thing after Finn lost, and I don't think it would have, like, you know.
All they really needed was just to have Johnny's music play. Because if you have music play, at least that gives you a reason to stop and freak out and be like, wait, what the hell?
Mm-hmm.
Or if Johnny put the lights out. Johnny could have turned the lights out and like appeared in the ring. Distraction. But it is what it is. But it was still a great match, and Finn Balor's going to be busy with Johnny Gargano, so that means Adam Cole's freed up for either
Ciampa. It's got to be Ciampa because, yeah.
Or Keith Lee.
You see, that's
glory.
When you mentioned like the Rhea Ripley story, I feel like Keith Lee gained so much during that Survivor Series weekend that he should have, even if he wasn't going to win tonight, I feel like he should have gotten the title match tonight because he was in that triple threat last week, and I feel like he should have been the one that got the win.
They play it off because this match was built solely to create Johnny versus Finn and to give Adam Cole one more notch in his belt. So I respect that. But since you mentioned her, let's get right down to it. NXT's main event match. Shayna defending the NXT Women's Championship against Rhea Ripley. And my God, since coming to NXT, Rhea has been on a path of destruction. And let's face it, her start of the year challenge. She was the NXT UK Women's Champion at the start of the year. And now she's closing it by being the NXT Women's Champion. It's been a hell of a year for Rhea, and what they did for her at Survivor Series, they pushed her to the moon, having just her and Candice win War Games, which I still stand. I love and hate that match, because I love the fact Candice and Rhea got the win, but I also hate it because what did that say about Shayna, Kaylee Ray, Bianca Belair, and Io Shirai? They couldn't they couldn't win in a 2-on-4, and it's not like they had miscommunication. It's not like they had infighting. They just lost. But in the end, Rhea beat Shayna in that match. We then move on to the women's tag match at Survivor Series. Rhea won that match. I don't know if she's technically... No, she's not the sole survivor because two of them were still in the match, even though they were taken to the back because it was believed they were injured, but they were not legal, so they were not counted out. They came back out. I feel they were still qualified for the match. And she won. So at that point, you could not have her lose to Shayna in a title match like this and then still have the fans behind her. You would have killed all that forward motion, all that momentum you put into her had she lost. So God bless, WWE did not make her lose. They pulled the trigger, they let her win, and how did I word it earlier? I said something, I laid it out beautifully earlier on the Wrestling Reality Rundown Facebook page when I shared the celebration video posted from WWE. You had the perfect formula, a well-built character, good storytelling, believable momentum following Survivor Series, and all that led to one unforgettable moment on NXT. So WWE, I applaud you on that one.
It was a great match. I thought it was a great match to kind of culminate what was a great year for Rhea. I think the exposure on WWE's main television on Raw and SmackDown, I thought really helped her. And I think that, you know, it was the perfect way to kind of end their year. So, like you said, kudos to them. I do think they have a star in Rhea Ripley. And I'm going to guess that Shayna is off to face.
She's young, too. She's got time to be built more. Like, Rhea's going to be a star for years to come with that one.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I'm guessing she was Shayna. I'm guessing now we're going to finally see her against Becky in the main event of main event of WrestleMania, probably.
Ooh, rumor mill!
That's what I'm guessing, because, like, you know, with the way they ended Survivor Series, I mean, they definitely have a match to go back to. Because I believe it was Bayley that got pinned in that match.
Bayley got pinned by Shayna. Nope, see, the supposed...
Because if they're telling the story of Becky kind of, like, you know, paying off the debts, and first I'm guessing it's going to be Asuka paying back the debt from last year's Royal Rumble when Asuka beat her, and then she's going to face Shayna, who, of course, you know, won the match of Survivor Series.
There's your WrestleMania match, my friend.
I don't think she's coming back.
True. That's your WrestleMania match.
I don't think she's coming back.
We'll see. We'll see. If she doesn't, yes, by all means, it's going to be Shayna. If Ronda's back, though, it's going to be Ronda coming after Becky for unfinished business. Because she's going to follow the exact same path Becky did. Ronda's going to come out. Ronda's going to win the Royal Rumble, show up at WrestleMania, and be the one to beat Becky at the show Becky beat Ronda.
Mm-hmm.
All to kind of do their own long-term storytelling of comparison to Tessa versus Sammy.
A lot of debts are going to be paid, apparently, in 2020.
I don't know, man. I don't have 2020 vision. I can't tell.
Humor. He's on a roll, folks. He's on a roll. Anyone keeping count? But it's gonna be interesting to see. You know, just hopefully that, you know, they're able to continue to ride with, you know, with Shayna going, because if she's not going to face Ronda or she's not going to face Becky at WrestleMania, what exactly is there for her to do? Because she's pretty much beaten everyone in NXT.
Go after and this is 2020 will be the year of the 4 horsewomen, leading up to Survivor Series of horsewomen versus horsewomen.
Mm-hmm.
Or shit, there's your Evolution whenever that show's back up during 2020.
Mm-hmm.
Put that on the big spotlight. But I mean, seriously, guys, how hard is it to write an Evolution card? Raw Women's Championship, SmackDown Women's Championship, Women's Tag Team titles, NXT Women's Championship, NXT UK Women's Championship. There's 5 matches right there.
And your Mae Young Classic, if you wanted to do one.
It's not that hard. In fact, if you want to see a good Evolution card, a good Evolution follow-up, check out our Wrestling Reality Rundown YouTube channel, part of the Multiverse for WWE 2K19 and also WWE 2K20. We run Evolution shows because we know it matters. In fact, it's what I'm working on right now to be uploaded for next week.
There you go.
And that's all we got for WWE and NXT.
That's all we got.
We can go ahead and close up this show.
Alrighty, well, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us tonight for a special WWE NXT talk for this week. We hope you all have a wonderful, great, marvelous, amazing, wonderful, yes.
Yes, wonderful.
Who did make a return this week, or he's been on Raw, right? Before, right?
Yeah, ever? Yeah, okay, all right. You know what? Let's rewind this shit. WWE. How the hell are you going to wait to start using Matt Hardy until his wife is ready to go into labor and then start using him more frequently after she gives birth? The fuck is wrong with you guys? Let the man be at home with his kids. Seriously. That's all I got to say now.
But make sure that you check out the YouTube channel. Make sure you sub. Make sure you like this video, and make sure that you send us a little comment. Let us know what you're thinking. What's in your head? What you got in your mind? Let us know.
What do you feel about the Rhea push? What do you feel? Do you like the whole Rusev, Lana, and Bobby Lashley storyline? Is that your thing?
If you do,
are you enjoying it? Comment. Yeah, we want to know why. We are very curious what you find interesting about it.
And what do you think is going to main event WrestleMania this year? Who is Becky's going to face? Is it going to be Ronda or is it going to be Shayna?
Oh, could it be? Main event's probably going to be Brock Lesnar versus somebody.
Oh, God. Brock versus Cain Velasquez again. That's your main event. But make sure that you follow us on Twitter at WRR Network FL, Instagram at WRR Network. Make sure you follow the Facebook as well at Wrestling Reality Rundown. And also make sure that you follow us individually on Twitter as well. And then we will chat with you again next time, where we will be chatting all the happenings over at AEW.
Woo! Be good people.
Goodbye.